So this is the first of two videos to help people deliver their lectures online using Microsoft Teams. In this video we're going to show how to create a calendar event for your lecture, then how you can join the meeting early and get things prepared, a little bit about etiquette in meetings, so the online lecture rules and possible tips, and then finally sharing your PowerPoint with your students. Okay, in a previous video I showed you how to create the classes and the individual teams that might go with your modules in the Microsoft Teams package. So I've created this HE module test 1 here, so I'm going to click on that one. That's my team we're going to look at, and in there I have three channels. I have a general channel, assignment channel, and a lecture channel. So I just wanted to show you how we can put things in that lecture channel. So I'm going to have a meeting, which is essentially a lecture for the students. I'm going to dummy this with some colleagues, and we're going to put it there. Now I can't do it from here. I want to do it from the calendar. So first I go to the calendar, and then I'm going to create a meeting for 3 o'clock. And the meeting is going to be my lecture test John 1. So here, so what might surprise you, when it says add required attendees, you don't put your students here. If you were doing a meeting with staff, then you could put in some staff here. So I could put in Debbie, or I could put in Nikki like this. But if I put in the module codes, nothing comes up. That's because when you've already put them into your class, you add the channel here. So here's all my different classes, and here under HE module test 1 I'm going to go to the lectures, and that's going to mean that my whole transcript of the lecture and all the video that I'm going to record is going to be kept on that part of my Teams website. So I click the lectures one here, and that's everything that I need. I can put all the details in there because that would be the message that goes out to students, and that links quite nicely with the Outlook calendar. So I do that, and I press send, and now in my calendar I have it there. It's just working on it at the moment as it builds, but there's going to be a meeting there that I can join shortly. So my meeting's ready here in Teams, and just to confirm, if I go to my Outlook calendar, here's my Outlook calendar online, or this could be on your Outlook desktop version, it's already put it in here as well, so that's all ready to go. So if I'm in my Outlook calendar and click on there, I can join my meeting whenever I like. I can join early if I wish to and get things ready, or if I close my Outlook down, I can go in here and I can join the meeting up here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to join the meeting, and we're ready. So I'm ready to go. Just to remind you, you've got these options to blur the background if you've got the right hardware. Most people have if you've got an up-to-date computer, so I can blur the background if I need to. Here it's good practice to join a meeting without the microphone, so you mute the microphone here. If you want the camera on, that's fine. If you want it off, you can turn it off there, but we want it on. So I'm going to join my own meeting. There we go. And now I'm just waiting for people to join me. So Nikki's kindly joined us as a student. So just a bit of etiquette to start off with is you want everybody to start with their microphones off, and it's best to have your students with microphones off for the whole time. Just for a first go, I think it's quite good practice to get people to start using the chat as well. So in here we have different options. That's to turn your microphone on and off and your camera on and off. This is a share tool that we'll come to in a moment. But here we have chat and participants. I'm currently looking at the people or the participants, but I want to now look at the meeting chat. So I'm going to ask Nikki, Nikki, can you possibly put an emoticon on there that tells me how you're feeling? And you can find the emoticons down at the bottom here. So there we are. That's very good. So that's a nice way to do icebreakers with people when they're working. And you want to make sure that everyone here has got the chat on. Now the first thing you're going to do, because this is really important, is you're going to do a recording. So we're going to record this session. So here we have the three dots, and we're going to start recording. There we go, and we wait for a moment because it'll come up with a prompt at the top. At the top there you can see you're recording, let everyone know that they're being recorded. So I'm just going to remind my class that they're being recorded, and part of the privacy policy. They'll have a similar message to prompt them as well. That's okay. You might want to give a general prompt to your class for people that start late. Okay, so I'm going to dismiss that. The last thing is that if anybody's struggling with their connection, you might ask them to just go without the camera feed, because that's going to really reduce their network traffic. Okay, so the next part is to start the lecture. So most of us will start the lecture with a PowerPoint. So if I just move the mouse here, I will get this screen, and here's my share option, so I'm going to click share. And then I'm going to browse to a PowerPoint that I have ready. I'm going to upload one from my computer, and I'm going to go for this test one that I have on the start. And here you can see my PowerPoint opening, and depending on the size of it, it will load. So here's my test PowerPoint with a few slides. There are a few things I want to share with you. Right, so we just wait for that to load. So here it is. Here's the lecture. The first thing is that if here at the moment Nikki can navigate through the PowerPoint independently of myself. So he can go up and down those slides, and this one will stay stationary. So what I'm looking at isn't necessarily what Nikki's searching at. So to stop that happening, if here I can prevent participants from moving through the shared presentation, I click that button. And I suggest that's how you worked. So now private viewing is disabled. There is an anomaly that students can take control of your PowerPoint, which is something we'll talk about later on, but as a solution. But you can always take control back as the person in charge, and you can manage it in the normal way. So here's my lecture. I'm just going to go through a few slides here. There's go on to the next slide, go on to the next slide, go on to the next slide. If I have any animations, they'll be there. So on this slide, I have two audio files embedded, and notice that one audio file for the juvenile is the old-fashioned type, and I need to update that link because it's not working. But the new audio file is here, so I can press a button here that will play. For students. So Nikki, can you see that audio, and can you play it?
Yes, that works.
That works fine. That's good. So here we can play these different audio files on the lecture. So I go to the next one, go to the next one, and go on to my final slide, where I have a video. But this is where I have a problem. So in my PowerPoint, I can't play these embedded videos, even if they're embedded in that PowerPoint slide. So I can run my lecture like this, but it's best if you're going to run PowerPoint in this format that you simply have the basics of images, bullet points, and you can use some animation, but you're a little limited in that. But for a basic lecture delivery, I think you'll find that's just fine. So here we have the team thread from the lectures in the posts channel. So we're going down here, and here is the recording we made in that lecture. So if we want to go to town on this, and we want to put this perhaps on our Moodle page, if we're not fully using Teams, and I'm not sure we're there yet, is we go to Meeting, click there, and we want to open in Microsoft Stream, which Writtle also subscribes to, and that has some useful attributes as well. So we're going to open the stream, and it will ask me to log in the normal way. Sign in. And here is the lecture. And here you can actually see what Nikki and I were working on. So here you can see that we've got the... And we wait for a moment because we've got the audio. You can see that we're chatting here, and then we go through to the lecture slides. You can see we have the slides, but we don't have the chat down the side. That is only going to be stored in that Teams thread. So if the chat's important and something's mentioned in the chat and you want it recorded in the video, you want to highlight that as you speak in your lecture. Anyway, so we have that there. How do we get that to Moodle? Well, actually, it's all in My Content. So you go up to My Content and Videos. And here's the list of videos. And here, that is the lecture test we just made here. And then we want to use the pen tool to update the videos and edit it. Okay, so here I can change the name of the recording if I want to. First thing here is if I want to make automatic closed captioning, so like you see on YouTube where they do the automatic transcription underneath, then you need to select a language. So here we select English at the top, and after everything we've changed, at the top is apply cancel. You might have to scroll up to see those two buttons on. Here, this is how we regulate who can see this video. So everyone in your company, if you don't want the entire college to see it, then leave that blank. But if we're sharing it through the module code, we need to make our module people available to it as well. Our module codes here, rather not intuitively, are not in My Groups. You can't, if you search for My Groups, you won't find it. But if you go for People, that's where we can use our module code. So if I want it available to, for example, my Animal Behavior Masters group, I can put in their module code here, so I could make them viewers of that module. If you want particular groups to it, they have to appear here if they're going to access it from outside their normal system. So I remove their permissions here. Okay. Here, it's now I've got an automated caption, so I'll just move that off for a second. Auto-generated caption file. You have to be a little careful because it might, when it does that, sometimes it can put inappropriate words in there. But that is up to you whether you're going to do that for a widening participation. I suggest it's a good thing, but you do want to read through it afterwards, and you can do that on Microsoft Streams. So now we want to share the video on Moodle. So here is the share button. So we click share. And I think the best way to do this is like I showed you before with the ClickView videos, is to embed them in your Moodle page. So here we go for embed. And here we have all the code that we need. We can choose our video size here, and perhaps 640 by 360 is okay. So I'm going to copy this text. You can either highlight it and copy it, or you can just click copy there. Okay. In Moodle, so I click onto my Moodle page. Here's an example Moodle page. I'm just going to put a test here. I'm going to add an activity or resource here. There's a normal way. So add that activity. And what we're going to do is we're going to add another label like we did with the ClickView. Add that label. And here we have all our controls. If we're not seeing them all, we need to press this button here. So that gives us access to more controls here. And these rather innocuous looking arrows for editing HTML source is actually what we need. So we're going to click there. And then we right click, paste our embedded code from Streams. We don't need to know what it says. We just press update. And there's our video. And when we press save and return to course, there is our video waiting for us here in Moodle. And when I press play, and we wait for a moment because it will come up with a prompt at the top. At the top there you can see your recording, let everyone know that they're being recorded. So you can see that the captions are included already. So I suggest that you do go and have a check through those beforehand, and you can control that from in here. Actually, I've just done that again. I've uploaded the video at a slightly smaller scale. So on here I did it at 560 315 instead of the 640. So that's the smallest one on the scale, and it's giving me a complete picture in Moodle. And here you can see my caption control is on and off there. So that is how we've uploaded our video to Moodle. It might be preferable for you to use a different format for this, and in my next tutorial I want to show you how to use your desktop sharing instead of this basic PowerPoint sharing, and that will allow you to share videos and audio files across the internet, which you can't do with this procedure. Thank you for watching.